Welcome. In case you're new here, this is the official podcast from us here at Robot Wars Shuntposting, brought to you by my royal queeniness and my fellow punmeister in crime, Mr. Dale Bruce.
Hello.
That's Dale. So, as the new season of BattleBots is upon us, we thought we'd revive the Shuntcast because, actually I don't know. Dale, why are we doing this again?
Because you asked me to.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, so each week while BattleBots is on, we will be joined by a guest roboteer for some very serious episode discussion, the gifting of the weekly Shuntposting awards, and we'll also be asking our guest roboteer some questions sent in by the group members.
So who's our first guest, Tara?
Our first guest. Well, some say this man's chins can pick up sonar, and that his sense of smell is so strong he can smell millennials 100 miles away. All we know is he thinks hammers are terrible and no one should build them. It's Al Kindle!
Those are all accurate statements.
Al says these are all accurate statements. So Al, welcome to the Shuntcast. We don't like to muck about here, so we will get straight into the fights and this episode. First of all, Al, what did you think of the first episode?
I think it was pretty good. I was concerned that the 2 hours would kind of bog down, but they seemed to keep it going pretty good. I was happy with it.
What did you think of it, Dale? Did it live up to the hype we were building up for?
Very much so, yes. I enjoyed it.
So we'll get straight into the fights. First of all, we had Sawblaze versus Rotator. We'll notice that Sawblaze didn't have the traditional dustpan this time. Then again, Rotator didn't look much like last season either. Al, what did you think of this fight?
Oh, was I supposed to watch the fights before this interview?
Oh, did you not do that?
No, it was a pretty good fight. I mean, J-Mo pretty much dominated the whole thing. The new Sawblaze is pretty good. A lot of the steel parts were made by my sponsor, Klockner Metals, by the way.
Ooh.
But yeah, I mean, J-Mo is J-Mo. He's very good, and if you're not on your A game, you will lose.
This is true. He's an excellent driver. Dale, do you have anything to add?
Not really, no.
Oh. He contributes a lot to this podcast, Al. Next up, we had Cobalt versus Sub-Zero, and I'd like to take this opportunity to say F.
Very much so.
It was, I think Alex Horn's look of terror as the fight was about to start was well justified, given what subsequently happened.
Well, I think there should be some lead up to this, because I'm friends with Alex and Jerry, but I talk to Alex every day, and they had a lot of things go wrong right leading up to the event. The machine shop sponsor dropped the ball. They had, like, a week before the event, they barely had any parts. So they were literally scrambling and still building when they got to Long Beach, and it was really amazing just the fact that they got that bot together and working.
Oh yeah, kudos.
What's that?
I say kudos to them for that then.
Right, I mean, absolutely. So it's amazing that they even got it in the box, and then it's really a shame because that got ugly in a hurry.
It did. Cobalt
is just a beast this year.
It is. It's kind of it's carbide on steroids.
So I think it has something to do with that beard.
As a hairless man, how would you know?
It's something to do with Dave's beard. I think that's what it is.
His haircut should be illegal. I'll be honest with you. But no, Kraken versus Ribot was the next one, and I think Ribot should get Shuntposting points because it ate itself.
Yeah, I mean it was just a funny looking match. You had like a frog fighting a whatever the hell Kraken is, and
an icky fish.
Fans always love that. So, I mean, both bots kind of worked. I mean, Kraken was pretty impressive this season. They seem to work a lot better than last year.
Definitely. Kraken looked on top of that fight. I know it took a hit to the teeth, and that was unfortunate because Kraken definitely needed to see a dentist after that fight. But I felt that Kraken totally dominated that fight, and they kind of. This season, they've just come back and gone, yeah, we're serious business this year. Yeah!
Yeah, absolutely.
Dale, did you enjoy this fight?
Yeah. No, there was what was it? I can't remember what it was now, but what was it? Where the leg come off. That was pretty quite enjoyable for France.
I was wondering if Chris and Kenny were going to have some garlic butter with that afterwards.
Yes.
Frog's legs.
Very tasty. And then on to Endgame versus Death Roll. With the green thing from Australia versus the Kiwi Endgame. This fight, I'll be honest, did not go how I thought it was going to go. Endgame was pretty much on top of it, and those were some bloody spectacular hits. And then they couldn't sell fry, and it was very sad.
Well, that was just an awesome fight. It was just, yeah, like you said, it was Endgame was beating the crap out of them all over the box. And then all of a sudden, it's just that one hit, and then they're upside down. And that's one reason why you never give up, because you never know when the other guy is going to blow up, he's going to get stuck, or whatever. It's never over until it's over.
I think it was lovely that Death Rolled. That first hit from Endgame, it just went badonk all over the arena. Although I have to say, how well built is Death Roll that it took that many hits from Endgame and its spinner and drive and just everything was still going.
That's crazy, because those were not light hits at
No.
all. And Endgame hits a ton, and I really love Death Roll this year. The theme, the look of it, the self-riding arm with the knife, it's a really great presentation.
It's not a knife!
And they're all great people, too.
So, next fight, Hypershock versus Valkyrie, and this fight did not exactly go in Valkyrie's favour.
Not so much, no. Will Bale turned it on properly this time, on that last year.
He sucked less.
We kind of noticed right off the bat when we first arrived, and Will was kind of, I always go over and talk to Will. I mean, we're pretty good friends online. He was kind of at his usual state of the bot not done, and but he's never worried about that, which is always amazing. It seems like he can go from a pile of parts to in the box in 24 hours, and it's pretty amazing. But he was doing some crazy things with a iPad or a computer on a rolling platform, and taking data from motors and telemetry, and he was definitely more serious about it this season, it seemed, and I think it showed in this first match.
I thought he was more serious when he showed up in a jacket instead of, like, the F1 suit. It was like, oh, he's serious this year.
Well, I think those were something crazy, those were like real racing suits when he had a sponsor, and they're like 10 grand each or something silly.
They must have been sweating so badly in them, though.
Yeah, I mean, the weather was nice there, but it's not like I wouldn't want to be wearing...
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to wear that at BattleBots. I mean, I'm British, and I'm used to, like, the cold weather, so LA in April was like, oh my god, I'm dying. Like, wearing a boiler suit, essentially, as well. Like, no way, no thank you. So, the box rush at the beginning was just... it was clinical, wasn't it? Valkyrie just really didn't get a chance to get into it in this fight. I mean, it got a pretty good hit on Hypershock towards the end, where it got the tires and stuff. But I think even with that hit, it was pretty much Hypershock's fight, really.
Yeah, I think that was the first box rush I've ever seen that actually worked.
It was clinical, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I aspire to drive that good. I never will, but I can dream. Right, and so, let's see what this next fight is. Ooh, I think you'll be interested in this one, Al. It's Blacksmith versus Quantum.
Alright, let's just skip this one. Not much happened.
Yeah, that's fine, this one.
So, you got bit by Quantum, and Quantum got its teeth stuck, which was really nice of them, and caused a 6-hour delay for your fight. Go on, run us through it, Al. Run us through it.
Well, that was about it. We got bit, and then we lost. But seriously, yeah, one of the things that most people don't know, because the way they edited on TV was pretty hysterical. I mean, I kind of laughed out loud. After the first fight, where we were apparently stuck, and then they did the whole thing where they love to show me upset. And, yeah, that didn't just magically get released. The match was stopped. We took the armor off, because we had to take the armor off and the tooth off together, and then take the bots out. And we tried the hydraulic press, and that wouldn't do it. So I eventually had to take an angle grinder with a cutoff wheel, and I had to make a relief cut all the way around the tooth, and then still had to go to the press to press the tooth out.
Jeez.
And then we had to put it all back together. By that time, the first session was over, so we actually finished that fight in somewhere in the second session, about hours later. So the longest fight in BattleBots history.
6 hours. Yeah, I mean, that's a really awkward situation for you to be in. I mean, because you take a look at Reddit right now, and there's some very loud voices proclaiming ban crushers and ban AR-500, and it's like just.
I honestly, I am shocked by the reaction to this fight, and I thought that it would just be like, yeah, there's Blacksmith sucking again. Moving on, and we'd be talking about some of the other fights, but somehow, amazingly, our awful fight is the talk of the bot world.
Of course it is.
I guess it's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty funny. I'm getting a kick out of it. And
everybody loves to be an armchair judge of BattleBots.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real tricky situation because it's never happened before. And first of all, I want to say that Quantum did nothing wrong. They put a beautiful machine in the box, and it did what it's supposed to do. So you really can't punish them for that.
Mm.
So I do think moving forward that there will probably have to be a rules adjustment in BattleBots in particular, because that match probably cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because anytime you're in the box and the cameras are rolling, or that you're in the box and the cameras aren't rolling, it's probably costing even more money. So they're not going to want that situation moving forward again. So, but as far as our match goes, it was, we were offered, they said, do you want to go to the judges? Do you want to do a restart? So we did a restart, and as you saw after the Magic Edit, literally the exact same thing happened again.
Yeah.
Except an inch or so to the left, which got the speed controller for the hammer. So that was an expensive one. And the tooth stuck again, so we had to do the same thing. They offered us, do you want to restart again? And that's when I said, forget it, because we'll be doing this until time runs out, and then the next time they'll put it right through the lipos, and then it'll be another
Yeah, and your speed controller was on fire as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, literally, the tooth went right through the board.
Yeah.
So speed controllers tend to malfunction a little bit when you have a giant steel tooth going through the board. But, yeah, I mean, that was the only fire, and we still kind of lucky. I mean, it was expensive, but it was an easy, quick swap out.
Yeah.
So I just kind of called it quits then, and I said, whatever, call it, let it go to the judges, knowing that we were going to lose, and we should have lost at that point. And so that was it.
Yeah.
It's early in the season. Both bots have a long way to go.
Yeah. I totally agree. Neither you or Quantum was at fault, but definitely something needs to be made to accommodate this problem if it occurs in future.
Yeah, because you're going to see it again, because people learn from ours, like, holy crap, it went right through AR, so maybe we'll try thicker AR. So it might happen again. I mean, I don't know what I would do. I would probably try something silly next time, like putting panels up on the side to try to keep their tooth from being able to get a bite. But
yeah,
that gets silly and hokey, and we don't want that either. So I don't really know. It was just a weird situation.
Definitely. Well, I think we're going to move on to the main event of the night, which was Tombstone versus Lockjaw. Were you excited for this fight, Al?
Donald has always been a favorite of mine, both his bots and his driving. We got to start right about the same time. He started a little bit after me with Tazbot. It's always been one of my favorites. And I've just always appreciated the bots he puts in there. They're interesting looking, they're different. They always work well. He's a great driver. He's got a good strategy worked out with the way his plow is configured to deal with something like Tombstone, and it was working for a while.
Yeah, until he got suckered in by the trick we like to call Tombstone bait.
Yeah, that's the one thing, and I understand how it happens, because when you're up there, you got the adrenaline going.
Definitely.
The one thing is that you need to know is never chase Ray.
Yes.
Never, ever, ever chase Ray. And you see exactly what happened, because he turns in and that's it.
Wheels come off.
And wheels are gone, and the weakness with Lockjaw is the exposed wheels. So that's and we saw it happen.
Dale, did you feel that Tombstone lived up to his reputation in this fight?
Very much so. I didn't want any more.
It's just, oh, poor Lockjaw. It's over now. You can go back to the pits.
Yes.
Well, okay, I think it is time for the Shuntposting Awards. So, as it's our inaugural episode, I will explain these to our audience. First up, we have the John Reed Good Hit of the Night Award, which I feel is fairly self-explanatory. We also have the Salt-Powered Robot Award, and this will go to whoever we think has caused a controversial or salty moment in the episode. And finally, we have the Shunty McShuntpost Award, which essentially goes to whoever we feel is the most memeable. So we'll start with the John Reed Good Hit of the Night Award. We've got a couple of nominations for this one that we can discuss. We've got Endgame's first hit on Death Roll, in which Death rolled. We also have Tombstone taking off both wheels at once on Lockjaw. And we'd also like to nominate all of Cobalt's hits combined into one on its fight against Sub-Zero. So, Al, out of those three, who would you give the Good Hit of the Night award to?
Oh, jeez. I gotta go with Cobalt's, because those were just some brutal hits. He was throwing that flipper farther than the flipper throws things. So it was just the way he was tearing through things. I'm going to go with Cobalt on that one.
What do you think, Dale? Who would you give the Good Hit award to?
I'd give it to Endgame.
I must admit, I want to give it to Endgame, because I totally agree with Al that all of Cobalt's hits combined into one were just like, oh my god. But the Endgame hit on Death Roll was kind of more memorable as a one hit. So yeah, would you argue with my reasoning, Al?
No, I mean that's a tough call. So that's just they were all those were good hits. So
would you be happy with a 2-1 win for Death Roll on the Good Hit?
Yes, I'm not going to fight you on that.
Fair enough. Okay, well then, congratulations to Endgame. You get the Shuntposting John Reed Good Hit of the Night Award for BattleBots Episode 1 for making Death Roll. So, secondly, on to the Salt-Powered Robot Award. We have one nomination for this, and it's Blacksmith.
How'd I know?
I don't know, Al. Could you take a wild guess?
Well, I guess I'll go with Blacksmith.
Dale, could you think of anybody else potentially worthy of the Salt-Powered Robot Award?
No.
I could say that Will Bale's crying, maybe, but then he's not a robot. So, congratulations to Blacksmith! You're the Salt-Powered Robot Award for Episode 1.
Yay.
Hey! Well done, Al! You won something! Okay, and lastly, onto the Shunty McShuntpost Award. We got a couple of nominations for this one. As ever, we have Farouk. I mean, his intro game was on form. Farouk is sensitive. Second up is Victor Soto's face. You know that face I'm talking about. That face. That we'd also got given a nomination for Ribot for eating itself. And also, of course, Al Kindle's face.
Yes.
Resting Al face. So Al, you can vote for yourself if you want. It's not against the rules. Who would you like to give the Shunty McShuntpost Award to?
I'm going to go with Victor because I laughed out loud at that one too.
Dale?
Well, since I've done a few of Al earlier, I'm going to have to say Al.
Oh, you're going to make me choose between Victor Soto and Al. Oh, gosh. I'll tell you what. Al has already won the Salt-Powered Robot Award. So, therefore, I can vote for Victor Soto guilt-free. So, I'm going to go with Victor Soto. Congratulations, Victor Soto of Rotator. You get the Shunty McShuntpost Award for Episode 1. Yay!
Yay.
Okay, and final question on this section is, Al, how many bananas out of 10 would you give this episode?
I'd say it was a good solid 8.
8 bananas. What do you think, Dale?
That was quite potassium-y, by the way. I'd say, maybe 8 as well.
I think I can't disagree with you. I think that's a solid 8. I know there's more spectacular to come, so I don't want to give it too much higher than that for now, because I know that there's going to be stuff later on that will make me go ah. So, lastly, the bit the group members are waiting for is questions from the group members. Are you ready for this bit, Al?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Right. First up, Al, why are hammers terrible and no one should build them? Is it because of the large head and long shaft, or the power required for them to get a good hit not available to simple-minded humans?
Wow, that kind of says it all right there. It's because they are extremely difficult to make effective, as you've seen over the years, and we're still not even there. It's almost impossible to make them hit quote unquote hard enough. So it's a very difficult bot type to win with, and we like them because they're different and they're fun to fight with, but they're very hard to win with, as you know.
I can cast no comment on this right now, lest I give away a spoiler. Dale, have you got a question for Al?
Yes, I have. I put it down here. Here we go, hang on.
Dale came prepared.
Yes, I wrote down notes and everything. Al, what's your beauty routine?
What was that?
What is your beauty routine?
Okay, I did hear that right. And I don't think you're using the word the way it's used, because I don't have one. I'm pretty damn ugly.
Fair enough. I mean, these are the questions the members want to know. We didn't make these. The group members did. Which leads me to the next question. Al, when BattleBots?
I have no idea.
Fair enough. Dale?
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Next one is, why not build a flaming spinner?
We've actually talked about it.
Ooh.
But, it's one of those things. I mean, we're at a point now, we're 3 seasons in, we have the toy. Everyone go out and buy my toy. So it's kind of hard to change at this point. So we talked about a flaming drum. We talked about maybe something that spins on the hammer. But I won't go into that right now. But, I mean, yeah, we've talked about it, and if you want to go to BattleBots and you want to win, you want to build a vertical spinner. Don't build a hammer that shoots fire. But it depends on what your definition of winning is, and we're doing all right.
Next question is, do people want fire that can be fitted nasally?
I don't understand the question.
Nasally means from the nose.
I'm going to have to ask you to speak English in this duration of the interview.
I am speaking English. Do people want fire that can be fitted from their nose and ejects from their nose? Ejects? That's not the right word. Emits. There we go. Emits from their nose.
That gives new meaning to blow in your nose, I guess. But, that would be kind of a good stage show for when you're coming out of the tunnel.
Okay, here's an easier one. How do you plan on eradicating the millennials?
By dying before they're old enough to do any real damage? I don't know.
How do you manage to keep the flamethrower on Blacksmith from damaging itself when it's constantly bonking the opponent?
We do a lot of fireproofing inside the bot. We have the hammer bay is pretty well taped off with aluminum tape. And so we are cognizant of that, so we do have to be careful. But yeah, I mean, we basically just kind of keep that in mind and try to keep the components protected from our own fire and from other bots' fire. But that is something you have to be wary of when you're in the box.
For the British people wondering what metal that was, that's aluminium.
Yes, the British version is aluminium.
The right version.
Aluminium tape.
This one comes from Rarer Detonator Rules Granger and asks, Blacksmith versus a reboot Robot Wars robot of your choice. Who's getting the flaming hammer?
I think a cool match would actually be Blacksmith versus Thor.
Ooh.
Because I love Jason's bots, and he does a great job with the hammers, and he's an excellent driver, and I think that would be a fun fight.
That'd be a bonk off.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a good bonk. Okay, Jonas Kurz asks, if you had the chance to combine two other weapon types other than the flamethrower/hammer, what would it be?
A drum that somehow shoots fire from inside itself.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 10 duck-sized horses?
I think the 10 duck-sized horses.
Fair enough. Do you feel honoured or slighted by all the hammer clones this year? From Kyle.
I don't think it has anything to do with me, but I love seeing more hammers because last season we were pretty much it. It was us and what was Chomp there? Yeah, Chomp last season, and this season, all of a sudden I think there was 5 or 6 other hammers, so it was great to see more hammers, and I can't really comment moving forward because they haven't fought yet.
Bonking is popular this year.
Yeah.
Okay, next question is really sensible. Prepare yourself. Given that God is infinite, and that the universe is also infinite, would you like a toasted tea cake?
Yes.
Who's your favourite ref?
No.
Can I have a Blacksmith shirt? Hashtag give Dale a shirt from Mr. Anonymous.
Sure.
We know you don't recommend hammers. What is a worse idea than a hammer?
A worse idea than a hammer? Something like Battle Saw.
I'm really not sure who this one was from, but it says, why won't you purchase a van truck?
Hi, Charles. Because they're stupider than hammers.
There we go. So if you build a BattleBot with a van truck on it, then Al will think you're even stupider than he is. Okay, well, I think that just about wraps it up. We've given out the awards. We've asked Al the questions sent in by the group members. We've had a very, very serious discussion about the episode, and we've managed not to bore Al Kindle to sleep. I think. Al, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm nodding off. But no, thanks for having me. I had a good time.
You're very welcome. So, bye from Dale.
Bye-bye.
Bye from our lovely guest, Al Kindle.
Bye, guys.
And bye from the Queen. Good night.